What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. The Focus did not pass inspection. If your car is not passing inspection due to emissions problems or any of your monitors saying not ready, stick around and I'm going to show you how I passed. Stay tuned. Here's the inspection sheet, and you can see right here where it says O2 sensor not ready and heated O2 not ready. That's what caused the overall fail result. For my situation, the reason why these are saying not ready is because of the tune that I have. After doing the turbo swap and adding the big turbo, the high flow cat exhaust, they had to turn these off because those sensors will end up throwing a code if there is too much flow going past the oxygen sensors. So they have to turn these off for that. So let me show you what I've got to hopefully fix this issue. There's going to be multiple things that I'm going to have to do to get this to say ready and also pass the emissions inspection. So what I've got here is a defouler for the downstream O2 sensor. And then this over here is just a socket to get the O2 sensor off. If you have the right size of box wrench, you can use that as well. But this thing, it was like 10 bucks on Amazon, so I hope that it'll make things easier. I'll put a link in the description for this and for this, and then let's start getting this thing installed. Looking at it from the rear of the car, here is the downpipe, and then right there where my finger is pointing is the downstream O2 sensor. So to get to it, the first things that I'm going to have to remove is this exhaust bracing that runs the whole length underneath the downpipe and the mid pipe here. And then the other thing that I'm going to have to remove is the splash guard that sits underneath the motor and transmission. So after removing the front splash guard or engine transmission cover that's underneath there, I don't think that I'm going to actually have to remove this brace anymore. If you come up front, you can actually see the downstream O2 sensor, and it sits right there, right above the hot side charge pipe. So I didn't want to have to take this charge pipe off because it's kind of a pain in the butt to put it back on, but it's going to make it a lot easier to reach that thing. I got the charge pipe removed, so now I'm going to attach the O2 sensor socket on here. So what I'm going to actually do is put the cord, so right there, the little sheathing, through this hole, and then I'll slide it all the way around, and then it will just sit on there just like that. You'll take your 3/8 inch ratchet, put it through here, and then we'll try to break this thing loose. This O2 sensor actually came out pretty easy. I put this downpipe on maybe 7-8 months ago. If yours has been on there a little bit longer, it may be pretty difficult to get those things out. I'm gonna get this thing threaded into the defouler and then get the defouler threaded into the downpipe. Before I can connect the defouler to the downpipe, I have to pick one of these inserts. It comes with 3, each one has a different size inner diameter, and then you'll use one of the snap rings that they come with to hold it in place. And then it's got a nut that will actually help to secure the defouler to the downpipe. I've read a bunch of reviews and I've read a bunch of forums on this, and from what I've read, if you have a high flow cat, the medium size insert right here will work, but it is like 50-50. Some it worked for and some it still threw a code. So they say that if you use the smaller one, it doesn't matter if you have a high flow cat or if you're completely catless, this is the one to go with. So that's the one I'm going to use. So I'm going to get that inserted. I'll get the snap ring in, and then I will get this thing on the downpipe. I've got the insert in there and the snap ring on top. Don't forget to thread the nut on the defouler before you get it on the downpipe. This is going to allow me to tighten this down to the downpipe and get the position of this thing that I want. I got the defouler threaded in. It actually worked out perfect as it tightened in the perfect position here. So one thing that they said to make sure that you do with it is face it upstream so that your exhaust gases are flowing this way, and then your O2 sensor is actually reading facing this direction. That way all the flow is going that way and it's not sensing too much flow through this thing. So now that I've got this on here, I'm going to go ahead and get the O2 sensor threaded in and then start getting everything else back on. I got the O2 sensor threaded into the defouler and everything else connected up. So now I'm going to go ahead and put back on the hot side charge pipe, and I'll get the cover that goes underneath the transmission back on. And then the second part of this is I'm going to have to do some changes to the tuning of the car. So I'm going to get all this back on, and then I will explain all of that. All right, guys, it's Saturday. It's been exactly 1 week since I installed the defouler on the Focus, but I wanted to share this with you first. If the only reason you're not passing the inspection is due to an inefficient catalytic converter and you're failing the emissions portion, The defouler should be all that you have to do. But if you're like me and you've got not ready statuses and that's the reason why you're failing, it's probably due to the tune that you have. If you have a custom tune, even some of the off-the-shelf map tunes, they can cause you to have not ready statuses. So stay tuned. I'm going to show you how to remove those so that you can get a ready status on the O2 portion. Depending on what kind of car you have, this process may be a little bit different. For me, I have a Focus ST, so I am using Cobb's access port to load my tunes on the car. So to get this process started, you will have to have the access tuner. So if you go to the Cobb tuning website, you can look in this little search bar, type in access tuner, and just find the one that is right for you. So if you see here, it says that it is $0, but if you look down here, there's actually a training course that is required through EFI University that is $149. I really didn't want to do that, but I did, and I actually learned a little bit. I don't think that it's worth 150 bucks. I definitely think it's probably worth about 50 bucks, maybe 75. 150 I think is a little bit steep, but I did take it. And I downloaded the software. So I'm going to move on over. I'm going to open up the software and I'm going to show you how to use that. Here is the Access Tuner software. It populates here. It will actually let you configure for a stock map, or you can load whatever custom map you have on here. I just wanted to tell you guys the reason why this has taken me so long is because I was back and forth with Cobb Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and I could not get this thing to load a single map. I couldn't get it to do anything for me, basically. And I didn't hear back from them for a couple of days. I called Cobb yesterday and talked with one of their guys there, and within about 5 to 10 minutes, he got me up and rolling. And what happened is after I finished the EFI courses, they sent me the 2013 to 2014 Focus ST Access Tuner software, and I needed the 2016, which that's the issues that I was having. That's why it's taken so long. But as soon as I got the right software, it works great. So here we are. I'm going to go ahead and load a map on here. And what I'm going to actually load is, I'm going to try to load my custom tune that I had built for me for my larger turbo. So when I try to load it, I'm going to hit yes, and it's going to give me an error message. It's going to say the access tuner was not able to open the map. The file may no longer be accessible, or you may not have permission to open the map. And that's the case. I don't have permission. This is a Pro Tune. It's from one of their Pro Tuners, and they have the ability to actually lock me out so that I can't send it to somebody else or look and see what they've done. So I had a feeling this was going to happen, and so what I wanted to actually do was, so this is actually what Access Tuner will look like. So what I'm going to do is actually open up the map for the Stage 3. So Stage 3 right here, and I actually wrote in there non-emission compliant. That way I know which one is non-emissions and the one that I've actually done. So if you open this one up, it's going to look the exact same. So we'll hit edit here. We're going to go to advanced parameters. And on these advanced parameters, we're going to unexpand that. And we scroll over to this P0420, and you can see right there off to the side it says catalyst system efficiency below threshold. That, I believe, is what is causing the O2 sensors to say not ready. And over here you can see some of these other ones not checked. All of these have to do with the shutter system, which is already removed from the car because I have the larger intercooler on there. So we don't have to worry about those. This should be the only one that you have to check. So I'm not going to check it right now. I've actually already done that. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the file or the map that I have created for myself. So right here, Stage 3 for emissions testing. So if I open this one up, I go back to edit, I go to advanced parameters, we scroll over, and you can see that the P0420 is now checked. So I hit OK. So if you've done that, you come up here, you can save the access port map, which I've already done obviously, and then open up access port and send the map over. So I'm going to show you that now. I have access port manager open. So here's all of the maps that are already loaded onto my access port. So you can see here, I've actually already got this map on here. I haven't tried it out yet, but it is on there. But I wanted to show you how to move it. So whatever folder that you save the map to, all you have to do is just simply find it. So there's my Stage 3 for emissions testing. Drag it and just drop it in. Pretty simple. So now that I've got it loaded on to the access port, I'm going to go flash it to the car. Before I load the tune onto the car, I did want to show you that you can actually check on your access port whether or not you are ready for, or whether any of your codes are going to be not ready. So if you scroll down to where it says troubleshooting, We'll click on that one. And then you've got a bunch of options here. So you've got reset ECU, read codes, keep memory alive, identify vehicle, and IM readiness. That's the one you're going to click on. So if we look at that, we can scroll down and we can see. So misfire's ready, fuel system's ready. All of these are ready. And then we get all the way down to oxygen sensor is not ready and heated O2 is not ready. So you can always check these things before you take it to have it inspected. Let's get this tune loaded on the car, and then I'm going to explain kind of what I have to do and why I have to drive a certain way with this tune. To load the tune on the car, just scroll down here to where it says tune. We'll click on that one, and we're going to change ECU map. And then we are going to change it to the new one that I turned the code off on. So we'll keep scrolling down. There it is, stage 3 for emissions testing. So we're going to go ahead and click on that one. It's going to recommend a battery charger. I'm not going to do it right now. It's not that big of a deal. My battery's good. So we're going to click on that. Sorry guys, the car started making a bunch of noises when these things flash. I forgot. But I wanted to explain to you, so that the map is on the car. It's changed over successfully, but I wanted to explain why I'm going to have to take some precautions with this map. And I am still a little bit nervous just because this is the first time I've ever had to do anything like this. But this car is a big turbo ST. So the custom tune that I had built is built for that, to have that bigger turbo to flow more air, create more boost, and everything else that goes along with that. So with this tune is from to my tuner, and he told me that I could load a stock map on here as long as I do not get into any kind of boost, stay out of boost, just drive easy, and I should be fine. The problems that I think that I'm going to run into that is, like I said, those shutters, that shutter system that's no longer on there anymore, all of that still acts like it's going to be on there. So that's why I decided to take the class, the EFI course, download the tuner software. That way I could change the stage 3 map, which is set up for a higher flowing exhaust. It's set up for an intake. It's set up for a bigger intercooler. Even with that being said, this tune is still not able to, it's not going to keep up with the bigger turbo. So even when I'm driving with this tune, I'm going to have to keep it out of boost. I'm going to have to keep it, lower RPMs and drive it around. And I think I'm probably going to have to drive about 50 to 100 miles to get all of these systems ready again. All vehicle manufacturers have, for their vehicles, they have drive cycles. So anytime you reset the computer or reprogram a map, you have to go through these drive cycles to get these systems to say ready. I need to start the car, let it idle for about, just a few minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, and let it get up to operating temperatures, take the car out and drive about between 45 and about 65 miles an hour, doing some like start-stop conditions and getting out on the highway and just basically driving the car like it should be normal. Obviously, in my case, I have to keep it out of boost, so I can't get too crazy with it or anything like that, but that's what it is. So I unfortunately don't have my camera mount for the car, so I'm not gonna be able to film while I'm driving, but as soon as I'm done, I will come back and let you guys know everything that happened. All right, guys, I know I shouldn't be filming while I'm driving, but I've got my gauges over here. You can see I'm not in boost. I'm at about a -3 vacuum right now, and I'm on the highway. I'm going about 60, so I'm good. One thing that I've noticed is on my air-fuel ratios, if you try to shift too soon, it's gonna make you run really lean, and that's not good. That's really not good. So don't be afraid to actually get the RPMs up, but just throttle position, it has to go gradually up. You can't just force it there. So, don't be afraid to do that. But yeah, I mean, it's running pretty good right now. It's the next day. I drove about 75 miles yesterday. Most of it was highway, but I did do some in-city driving from light to light just to do some start-stop stuff. But let me show you what systems are ready. So my misfire's ready, fuel system's ready. Everything is ready except for the evap system is not ready. And my O2 sensor and O2 sensor heater are still not ready. So like I said, I did about 75 miles. It says that in normal driving conditions, without actually trying to do the driving cycles, it takes a few hundred miles to actually go through everything. So I'm going to take the car back out again today and just drive like I did yesterday, kind of doing the same thing, and then see if I can get all these systems ready. I drove over to a friend's house to put a few more miles on the vehicle to get these codes to readiness, and they are all ready. I put exactly 100 miles on the car and it got all of the systems ready. So we come down here, we've got misfires ready, fuel systems ready, comprehensive component is ready, catalyst ready, evap system is now ready, and the two main ones, my oxygen sensor is ready, and my oxygen sensor heater, the heated O2, is now ready. So it's Sunday, so I can't take it up there to get it inspected today, but I will take it up there tomorrow and hopefully get this thing passed. Round 2. Here is my new inspection sheet. Obviously all of my sensors were ready and my overall result is now passing. So I hope this helped anybody else out that is having some sort of trouble like this. And if it did help you out, please hit that like button, please hit the subscribe button, and I will catch you guys later.